All Platinum trophies are worth a glorious 300 points on paper, indicating that all Platinums are of equal value. But we know that isn't true. We know that Platinum trophies are not born equal. Some Platinum trophies are just more valuable than others. To us, personally anyway. We know that when we get to the end of a Platinum adventure, if it's been a harder Platinum, a grindier Platinum, or a more tedious Platinum, we take more pride in it than we do of others that we've earned in the past. Having hit 150 Platinum trophies recently with the monotonous but overhated Gotham Knights, I decided to take a look back at my own trophy list and pick out my 10 proudest Platinum trophies. So let's go. Number 10. Alien Isolation. As you probably know, my first 99 Platinum trophies were all aimed at building confidence and some basic rudimentary skills in order to take on Bloodborne as my big 100th. We wrapped all this up together in a big series called My Road to Yharnam, which if you haven't seen already is not too bad. Link in the description and in the corner now. This led to me trying games out of my comfort zone and in particular game modes that fucking terrified me. Now being a massive Xenomorph lover, I was heavily drawn to Alien Isolation. Not a horror game fan, but I'm not a big horror movie fan either, and Alien is still one of my favourite franchises. I even named my beloved cat Sir Ridley Scott after the director of the first Alien film because I love it that much. Don't judge me, I'm not like Nicolas fucking Cage naming his son Kal-El. Can I? Crew? Can I name a son Kal-El? But with my love of the franchise and a new curiosity about games that I wasn't previously keen on, and a determination to take on tougher games, I set out to make Alien Isolation my 83rd Platinum trophy. And I succeeded! Oh! Proudly finishing the run without dying in one brutal sitting and somehow managing to earn the game's hardest trophy, the one-shot Goldie for completing the game without dying. Now, being a super double mega shit gamer, trying desperately to get good, I was so proud of myself with this one. Not only did I manage to earn the Platinum trophy, lazily named Alien Isolation, I did it legit without save scumming, and just for my own personal pride, I did it in one sitting. Granted, this was after many failed attempts. But I did it, a trophy I never thought I could beat, a Platinum I never thought I would earn. So I was pretty proud. Until Troy saw my video on it and then decided to make one of his own in reply. But don't worry, Troy and I get on pretty well, and I'm going to redeem myself to you, buddy. I promise you, I will redeem myself in your eyes, Troy. And very likely I will do this by exploiting the living fuck out of Hollow Knight. Don't look at me like that, I haven't done it yet. But the reason he called me out is pride in doing this trophy legit, which I think he's kind of wrong for. Being proud of your own achievements, especially when trying to improve at something you're not good at, is healthy and perfectly acceptable. What Troy does have issue with, and I'm 100% with him on this, is forcing that pressure on others or using it to belittle others, which was never and is never my intent. I agree with Troy that there is a lot of toxicity in our community, and I don't ever want to be part of spreading or increasing that. But we all have a responsibility, especially as YouTubers who have a reach of thousands of people every time we upload a video. We can all make this community better, and I think if we care about it, we will all put in that little bit extra to do so. Let's make this community the best it can possibly be. Like these glorious legends who all bring so much good to our corner of the gaming world. Anyway, that's enough social aware jibber jabber. Let's get on with the ratings for Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation misses out on the nuclear because you can scum save that no death run, so it is a little bit spicy on the Platinum Tower of Judgment. I'm still going to give it a 7 out of 10 difficulty because it is still fucking hard, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for fun because it is an absolutely brilliant game and one of the best installments of the Alien franchise in any medium. Number 9, the God of War franchise. All of it. Okay, so not a single Platinum per se, but rather my first and only fully completed franchise. No, this doesn't mean I have every stack of every game in the series, but I have Platinumed every installment at least once. I do like to save the stack so I can replay the game at a future date, and I love the God of War Platinum so much I have no issue replatting all of them multiple more times. There are 6 Bloodstained games in the original series, 4 mainline installments and 2 side games. God of War 1, 2 and 3 are the core trilogy, but Ascension acts as a prequel in this style. Sadly, it is the weakest of, well, all of the games actually. Side games Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta are side games released originally on the PSP, but honestly, they ported really well over to PS3. They are usually on PS Plus Premium these days and have to be streamed, but totally worth it. Solid installments of the series with lots of lore and history of Kratos and supporting characters. I love Kratos old and new, or young and old, Depending on your perspective, I guess. But his is a story I connect with. Sure, the hack and slash uber violence make it one of the most fun franchises in existence, but underneath the punching, stabbing and brawling is a sublime story and some truly brilliant characters. I love both interpretations of Kratos and can see the 2018 reboot as the natural evolution for God of War in this modern gaming climate. I of course have criticisms of the new games, but I did for the originals. Still my favourite franchise, and its completed set in my trophy list makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Probably because of all the daddy issues I worked through while playing them. Little orphan Zaki hasn't got a daddy. Number 8, Worms Battlegrounds. Platinum 75. A franchise I played since it began and a franchise I still adore to this day. Worms Battlegrounds was my 75th and rarest Platinum trophy. Now, when I first landed the Battlegrounds Platinum, it sat at 1.05% ultra rarity on PSNP. In fact, my rarest trophies displayed by PSNP on my profile are all from this game. And somehow it's got even rarer since. It's almost as if thousands of people watched my video and went, do you know what, if that fucking idiot can plat it, I can plat it. Wrong! It is in fact hard as hell with bug to high shit online trophies, an assortment of tricky miscellaneous trophies, and the game's biggest bugger, the Sergeant Swift Goldie. Now, Sergeant Swift requires you to complete all 10 Worms Ops missions in under 8 minutes. Now, this sounds easy and only your best time on each map is recorded, but these little missions are a real test of how good you are at the game. As a trophy of the game, it's clear Sergeant Swift is Battlegrounds' most difficult to earn. Just over 3,000 people have earned this elusive Goldie, and I am proudly one of them. Can you beat the Ops missions in under 8 minutes? Go on, give it a go. Succeed and you have a gorgeous ultra rare Platinum. Fail and you make mine a little rarer. A 7 out of 10 difficulty, completely ignoring that ridiculous 4 out of 10 difficulty PSNP's guide gives it. Be very warned about the online trophies. It is a 7 out of 10 for enjoyment because it is a great game and a great Worms game. It sits in the little bit spicy in the Platinum Tower Judgment because honestly, it is hard, but it is doable because I did it. Number 7, Sega Mega Drive Classics. Another game I only wanted to platinum because of my nostalgia connected to it. Sega Classics is an assortment of original Mega Drive and Genesis games, of which I sucked a lot at. Now again, I don't agree in any small way with the difficulty or time estimate PSNP's guide gives, but that could just be because I suck and I found it much, much harder, ergo making my platinum time much longer. But PSNP says it's a 4 out of 10 with a 10-hour completion. Do you think this is correct? I don't. There's a horde of miscellaneous trophies connected to the games in this glorious 8-bit brilliance. From simple trophies for collecting 500 rings in Sonic, maxing out your magic in Golden Axe 3, and some fun ones like doing the hula with Toe Jam and Earl. Most of these trophies are fun and easy to obtain, but packed in with them are some tricky trophies to test your Sega prowess. The Good Job Goldie wants you to complete Streets of Rage 3 on normal or hard, and I'm going to tell you now, normal is hard as fuck. The Demonstrate Restraint Silvo tasks you with beating the first 2 levels of Shadow Dancer without using magic. Not overly difficult in terms of skill required, but does demand you show self-control, so obviously not a trophy that came easily to me. The toughest trophy for me personally was attached to Space Harrier 2. The Power Through Bronzer drops when you hit a high score of 5 million, which is just plain hard, like actually hard. The game is pretty tough, and this trophy, although earnable, just playing the game and completing 5 levels, is a royal pain in my hairy Welsh backside. But the toughest trophies, the ones that really make me question the 4 out of 10 difficulty rating, are all connected to the challenges. And oh boy are these fun. Fun like getting pegged without lube. Too dirty for YouTube? My bad. The Clean Sweep Goldie is there for you when you complete every challenge in the game, and some of them are truly difficult. Some of these are controller smashing risks. Platinum at your own risk. Taking on multiple bosses in Golden Axe without health drops or using magic while on low health is tough, but nothing is more frustrating than the Bean Machine Challenge. That game and its RNG is truly infuriating, and one that may not even be a skill issue, it's just one of those challenges. Sega Classics is a 6 out of 10 difficulty, a 20-hour completion time, and it sits as a little bit spicy on the Platinum Tower of Judgment because I burnt myself a little bit on it, alright? Number 6, Lords of the Fallen. Here we go again. Being obsessed with Bloodborne, I ventured into Souls-like domain with their first AAA Souls-like, Lords of the Fallen. Now, Lords of the Fallen had a pretty negative backlash on release because of numerous bugs and glitches that didn't just make the platinum near impossible, but in some cases reported on social media, the game was completely unplayable. I didn't actually have any problems like this with it myself, but I did play it years after release, and it is still one of my favourite platinum trophies of all time. I assure you that the only problems I had with this platinum adventure were entirely skill-based. An ultra-rare, Souls-like, that's supposedly easy. Okay. Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Dark Souls don't have ultra-rare platinums, I'm just saying. 3 playthroughs, 1 using each class, Clerk, Warrior, and Rogue. Be careful when finishing the story, however, as you also need to reach all 3 of the endings. At least one of these runs must be done in New Game Plus, but I'd highly advise against going for New Game Plus Plus, as I tried it and not only are the enemy stats insanely pumped up, but it also crashed multiple times for me. Actually, New Game Plus isn't any harder to your first playthrough, you just have to do more hits because you don't do as much damage. I loved my time with Lords of the Fallen, eagerly await the release of its prequel thing, released in October. Sadly, we won't be taking control of Harkin in the new one, but I'm sure it'll be as dark, disturbing, and as difficult as the original. Lords of the Fallen is a 6 out of 10 difficulty, a 50-hour completion time, and it sits as a little bit spicy on the Platinum Tower of Judgment. Number 5, FIFA 22. Now, I've played FIFA from the start. Yes. From FIFA International Soccer, I'm that fucking old, and I have played every edition of the game, but never platted one. Never ever tried to 100% one. FIFA 22 was my first FIFA Platinum, and I was convinced to do it by the GOAT himself, Guy Firuski. Sadly, despite owning FIFA 23, Guy Firuski abandoned me for last year's rendition of EA's crap football game. No thanks for that, mate. Love you. But FIFA 22 was a big one for me. With a lot of online PvP to do across multiple game modes, it really is a platinum I am very proud of, especially for getting that overhead kick goal as it was bugged out for months. Ah, good times. Number 4, Rayman Legends, my 120th Platinum trophy. Many Platinums test our patience and commitments with grinds from hell, but Ubisoft let the Rayman Legends devs take us to whole new levels of grinding hell. Not only does Rayman Legends take roughly 80 hours, it also requires you play daily online challenges for a minimum of 3 months, but very likely 6. This is because the infamous Truly Awesome Silver overreaching the maximum level of awesomeness. This cannot be done entirely offline. A third of the points needed to get to level 11 can only be earned in those online challenges. 2 golds a day will see you earn the trophy in 3 months, but less than that will take you considerably longer. Unfortunately, it's almost impossible to earn Diamond Cups online legitimately because there are so many people that cheat them, so gold is pretty much all you can hope for. Anyway, my pride in the Rayman Legends Platinum comes from the sheer willpower it took me to do those daily challenges. Forcing it into my daily routine and sticking to it, especially with my ADHD-addled brain desperately trying to trick me into abandoning it and play more FIFA. God, I love FIFA. This one took some real grind, determination, and commitment. My 120th Platinum and one of the very best in my collection. A brilliant game, and other than the Truly Awesome Silver, is an almost perfect Platinum trophy, which really does make you enjoy every single part of the game. Jeez, I hate giving Ubisoft this much positive feedback. I've got to move on. Sorry, guys. Top 3. Are you ready? Number 3! My only nuclear game. It's Mortal Shell. This was my 91st Platinum, and this is harder than Bloodborne. No joke, this is harder than Bloodborne. This game very seriously almost made it to number 1 on the list, and I cannot fucking wait to tell you why. It's only a 6 out of 10 on PSNP, but that's some top level shithousery from whoever wrote that. The difficulty in Mortal Shell isn't just that it's a hard Souls-like, the Platinum requires a no-shell run, which was once upon a time exploitable, but not anymore thanks to the patches and updates. Besides, the whole exploit is really complicated. You've got to delete some of your saves, but not all of your save, and then reload it, and I couldn't figure it out, and when I tried it, I accidentally deleted all of my saves and didn't back them up, so I didn't have a choice. I had to do it legit. Sorry, Troy. So what is so brutal about the no-shell run, I hear you ask? It's a one-hit death run. One hit, you dead. Simple. You have to do the whole story, including 4 very, very tough boss battles, while having the slimmest of health bars you've ever seen. The only advantage you have in this mode, without ever bonding with the shell, is that you can actually run, and your stamina bar is huge. So huge, in fact, it doesn't actually require recharging. You can just run and jump around all willy-nilly. This is great use for the story, but the boss fights, it's about as helpful as my 7-year-old in doing the washing up. It took me far longer to do the no-shell run than it did my first playthrough, and the final boss is so tough I smashed a controller after dying to him for the millionth time. Perseverance and getting good was the only way to overcome this nuclear platinum. I give it a solid 9 out of 10 difficulty without the exploit and a completion time of anywhere from 20 hours upwards, as it feels like you are playing two totally different games. I did, however, absolutely love this game, and it had a few really fun trophies, such as the Brigand Life Silver for wasting your entire life with an NPC baghead. Exceptional. And as hard as that no-shell run is, it's one of the most enjoyable platinum trophies I've ever earned. But honestly, if you can figure out how to exploit that, exploit the fuck out of it. It's not worth it's not worth doing. Legit, don't do it. It's so hard and horrible, it's just awful. Number 2, Bloodborne. It's got you wondering what number 1 is now, isn't it? The game that started it all for me. The game that inspired me to become a trophy hunter. The game that inspired me to start a YouTube channel. Bloodborne is probably my favourite game of all time and is arguably my favourite platinum. But it is not my proudest. Despite how much inspiration this glorious game gave me and how much I loved every second of its rough, blood-corrupted platinum, it isn't my proudest. It's close, but no cigar. Does anyone still smoke cigars these days? I don't remember anyone smoking cigars anymore. My dad used to, but he quit when he died 30 years ago. I'm sorry, guys, that was fucking dark. Sorry, Dad. Rest in peace. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the Bloodborne Platinum too much. You all know how much I love that game. There is a great video that I already made about my Platinum adventure. Link there and in the description. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. It's one of my favourite videos. Enjoy. Drum roll, please! Number 1, Unbound, Worlds Apart. Yeah, you've never even heard of it, have you? I only played it because a friend of mine was involved in it, and he was promoting it on his Facebook page, and I was like, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to plat that just to show him that I could beat his game. Not only is Unbound Worlds Apart a very, very hard Metroidvania, it's a stupendously hard platinum. For me, made much, much worse by the fact that there were no guides available when I played it. None. Not Steam achievements, not Xbox fucking achievements, nothing. There was nada, nil, zilch, zap. I was up shit's creek without a paddle. Now, luckily I was playing this masterful little indie when I first got into Discord and joined the game developer server. This server would prove to be a godsend, and is part of why I have grown so fond of Discord over the last few years. Thanks to fellow players in the server, I had tidbits of advice and some help in directing me to those impossible to find collectibles. Really is a great server filled with some really cool and helpful people. If you plan to play the game, I definitely recommend joining it. Now, this Platinum looks on the surface as a really easy game because PSNP has it as a rarity of over 40%. That's borderline grubby, right? Hold on. Take a closer look and you'll see only 250 people have played it, and that the majority of them are serious gamers, way, way, way above my level. Go and find the platinum earners of this game, the first 50 platinum earners of this game, and go and look at their list, and I bet you're impressed. Any person just randomly pick someone from that achievers list, and I bet you're impressed with their platinums. Apart from mine, of course. I got fucking lucky with this one. Unbound has both PS4 and PS5 stacks, of which I did the PS5 version, but I do plan to do the other in future, and if you'd like to see me rage like I'm on my period, then drop a comment and I'll get it done and shoot a Platinum Adventure video on it. Luckily, nothing is really missable, as you can explore the entire world or maze to your heart's content, but without acquiring all the abilities, you'll not be able to access the areas required to save all the villagers. They're the collectibles. Unbound is an 8 out of 10 difficulty, a 20-hour completion time. Is absolutely a little bit spicy at the very least. I would call it a nuclear, but I think I'd get hung, drawn and quartered. Have you played it? If you have, let me know what you think. If you haven't played it, go play it and then tell me what you think, because it's a great game, beautiful game, completely hand-drawn and painted. It is absolutely delightful, and Solly is a wonderful little lead. So why am I so proud of this? Is it because I didn't use a guide? That's pretty lame, right? No, it's not because I didn't use a guide. I only use a guide half the time. The reason I'm so proud of this is because I was in the first 50 achievers. I think it was 37th, and that to me was very, very cool. I'll probably never get that again because I don't play new games. I always wait for them to be out a month or two to make sure any bugs or patches that need doing have been done. I like to have a smoother experience instead of those day one nightmares, you know? So, which of these platinums would you be most proud of? Would you be proud of any? Most people probably wouldn't. They're not that impressive. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what your proudest plats are. I'm Zach, she's crew, this is ZXL. Be good to each other. Boom!